This week I want to try something a little different, and I want to go back to some books that I DNF'd and see if now is a better time for them. First up, we've got Vera Wong's Guide to Snooping on a Dead Man. That's the second in the Vera Wong series by Jesse Q. Sutanto, and I gave the first one 5 stars. I loved the audiobook for it. And this one I just DNF'd because I think it was right book, wrong time. I was in the midst of a reading slump and not really feeling much of anything that I was reading that week, so I put it away until a better time, and hopefully now is a better time. The next one is Heartless Hunter. I don't remember exactly why I DNF'd it. It was a little over a year ago, or I think it was sometime last year that I DNF'd it. It's about a witch and a witch hunter, and I remember thinking the magic in this was pretty cool. But I think I read the first 3 chapters and then DNF'd, and I don't remember why. On the night Rune's life changed forever, blood ran in the streets. Now, in the aftermath of a devastating revolution, witches have been diminished from powerful rulers to outcasts ruthlessly hunted due to their waning magic, and Rune must hide what she is. Spending her days pretending to be nothing more than a vapid young socialite, Rune spends her nights as the Crimson Moth, a witch vigilante who rescues her kind from being purged. When a rescue goes wrong, she decides to throw the witch hunters off her scent and gain the intel she desperately needs by courting the handsome Gideon Sharp, a notorious and unforgiving witch hunter loyal to the revolution who she can't help but find herself falling for. Gideon loathes the decadence and superficiality Rune represents, but when he learns the Crimson Moth has been using Rune's merchant ships to smuggle renegade witches out of the Republic, he inserts himself into her social circles by pretending to court her right back. He soon realizes that beneath her beauty and shallow facade is someone fiercely intelligent and tender who feels like his perfect match. Except, what if she's the very villain he's been hunting? Like I said, I don't entirely remember why I DNF'd it because it was so long ago. I got through 3 chapters and then quit, but I'm here to give it a second chance. And the third option is Until the World Falls Down. I really thought this was a pretty addition when I saw it in the store, and it's marketed as Labyrinth meets Beauty and the Beast. I read the prologue and I thought it was super interesting, so I took it home, and the first 2 chapters are just such a stark tone shift, and almost like a quality shift that I remember the main character just being so whiny and insufferable in the first couple of chapters, which is just over 40 pages. Her freedom or her heart, in 48 hours, she'll lose one forever. When a brutal betrayal leaves Nell heartbroken and alone, she makes a desperate wish for love, recklessly offering anything in exchange. Her plea is heard by Enver, an immortal as wicked as he is beautiful. He sweeps Nell away to his castle that seems to exist out of time and presents her with a bargain. Escape his labyrinth within 48 hours, or surrender to eternity as his lover. Nell vows to conquer the labyrinth despite the dangerous attraction she feels for its monstrous ruler, but every stolen moment with him leaves her craving more, and every step deeper into the castle reveals hidden truths about herself and the curse that holds Enver captive. Torn between her desire for love and the dark being incapable of loving her, Nell faces an impossible choice, and her time is running out. And I thought the end covers were really pretty as well, so I want to give this another shot because it would be a shame to have to unhaul such a pretty book, but so I want to try to give it a fair shot. So the first one I decided to start with is Vera Wong's Guide to Snooping, and I'm absolutely flying through it this time around. I'm 37% done, and I wonder if the big difference is that when I DNF'd it before, I had just gotten the ebook from the library, and nothing was really hitting. I was in the middle of a slump, but this time I also got the audiobook, and I think the narrator does a fantastic job. I can really just picture Vera in my head as she's speaking, and it brings so much life to the characters versus just reading it as words on paper alone. It's doing way more than I could do in my head, I think. So I wonder if the big difference now is, other than I'm just in a better place with my reading, but also the addition of the audiobook, because it's a wonderful narrator. She's doing an amazing job, and it's just so funny, so heartwarming, so endearing. I love hearing about Vera's shenanigans in addition to just reading them. I'm really enjoying it, and I knew I would, that's why I put it away as a soft DNF for now, because I didn't want to mar. I didn't want my slump to affect how I felt about this book, and I'm so glad I picked it up again. Vera Wong is a freaking queen. She's the type of influence and nurturing and love that everyone should ideally have in their life. She's a champion for people that you wish you had on your side when you were growing up. I blinked and I am 91% of the way through Vera Wong's Guide to Snooping on a Dead Man. It is everything, and I think the big difference is one, just my state of mind, but also having the audiobook just encapsulates the essence of the story so well. The narrator did a phenomenal job in the first one and in this one, and um, even though this one is a little bit darker than the first, there's heavier themes. You're dealing with scammers and internet personas where things aren't entirely what they seem, and it big themes of loneliness more so than in the first book. And I love seeing Vera just adopt her circle of friends and seeing that grow and change, and it's beautiful. I do think it's hard to replicate the magic of the first one, so I don't know if this one will quite be a 5 stars, but I am highly enjoying it. But the first one holds a special place in my heart for how wonderful it was, and I don't know if this new group of characters can quite replicate the magic that the first one did. But I'm loving it, and like I said, I have zipped through this time around. That was so good. I was crying right before I turned on the camera. That was, that was so good. The found family in this is just amazing. Everyone needs a Vera in their lives. It's so good. So I have some updates about Heartless Hunter. I had previously DNF'd it at chapter 4, and chapters 5 through 8, I was just chipping at it in between reading other things, a chapter at a time. And once I hit chapter 8, I went from 13% done to 51% in an evening, which is from chapter 8 to chapter 30. I am now on chapter 30 in one evening. It gripped me. I think I really enjoy cat and mouse tension in a story. There have been others that I've read that had descriptors of cat and mouse, like First Lie Wins or this one, or I can't think of any off the top of my head right now anymore, but I think I really enjoy the cat and mouse aspect of it, and the tension in this is great. There's not really a love triangle, but there's unrequited love on one side. There's best friend's brother, who is the witch hunter, and she's a witch. And just that whole dynamic is awesome. And the way the witch magic works is they use blood for their spells. And the fresher the blood, the more powerful the spell is. And so witches would create designs in their skin. Back when witches ruled, they would create designs in their skin when they were getting their blood for their spells, and it was really intricate, but that was also a telltale marker. They're called casting scars. It was a telltale marker to tell who was a witch, so it made all of the witches easy to hunt down when the witch regime was over and overthrown. And so the other witches kind of have to hide and blend in and hide their scars, or try to get around creating scars for their magic. And it's so interesting. When I DNF'd, I had just read one Gideon chapter, and I didn't like him, but since I've kept going, I'm really liking him. You learn more about his backstory and why he's so hard hunting these witches. And in contrast to that, you have his brother, who kind of escaped a bit of what Gideon and his family had to go through, so his brother's not as into the witch hunting. His brother actually helped Rune, who's the witch. And it's just interesting dynamics all around. I'm so glad I picked it back up, actually. Um, that's one instance where it's like, it shouldn't be a DNF forever. I'm glad it was just a soft DNF and I gave it another chance because I'm really enjoying it so far. And halfway through, um, and I think it's a duology. So I think there's another one, but yeah, I'm enjoying Heartless Hunter. So it's a few hours later, and I only meant to read a couple of chapters of Heartless Hunter this afternoon. And I blazed through the entire last half of it in one sitting. I couldn't stop. I couldn't put it down. I could do nothing but go along for the ride. It gripped me hard, and that ending. So, I am really glad I picked that back up because I would have missed out on that. And wow, that was a ride. And I know that there's another one. I think it's a duology. I don't know if there's more, but I know that there's at least another one. And I think my library has it. And I'm fighting the urge to borrow it immediately because what? Oh my gosh. Some parts of the ending I saw, but not quite. I saw the who, but not quite the how or what or why. And, whoo, there was something I didn't see that was just heartbreaking. So I'm laughing through the tears here. Whoa. So, uh, two of the three so far have been highly, highly successful second chance books for me. Wow. So my library does not have an audiobook copy of this. They only have the ebook. And since I've got the physical, I don't think the ebook might quite be worth it. But I'm not very far into it. I've only read an extra chapter, and that chapter, I was cringing the entire time. I don't think I'm a fan of the writing. Just the writing style, the writing. I this had such a great plot, and it's falling really short in its execution, I think, for my taste. And it's very, very insta lust, insta love, and it gets hot and heavy very fast. And there's no tension, there's no build up, there's no getting to know any of them. And what I do see of the characters, I don't like. I'm gonna give it another couple chapters, see if it gets better past the introductory period. Once we get into the labyrinth type of things, maybe that action will pick up and redeem it. But right now, still not liking it. Don't know if I want to keep giving it much of a chance, to be honest. Because life's too short to read things that you're not enjoying. Which is hard for me. It's hard for me to actually DNF a book and mean it and not pick it back up again. Finally done. I'm pretty sure I cringed my way through this the entire time. Did not enjoy a single bit of it. Did not root for the characters. Did not like their relationship. There was nothing about their relationship that was believable other than just beyond the insta lust. And I cringed. I did not like it. Will not be reading the second one. it's going on my donate pile immediately. Unfortunately. Not a happy way to end this video, but 2 of 3 being really good hits for second chance books is not bad at all. I'll take those odds.